much for tuning in to this segment of WALB News Now. I'm Jamie Worsley, joined by Gabrielle Tate here to talk about a somber anniversary here in the Albany-Dougherty County area and really across southwest Georgia. Today, 3 years ago, the first coronavirus case was confirmed in Albany. Gabby, you attended a gathering this morning with local leaders reflecting on today and how far we've come. Can you tell me a little bit about the environment of that meeting this morning?
Yeah, so they had like EMS there, they had the police department there, they had lots of other health officials there, and they just kind of reflected on, you know, how devastating COVID was, or the pandemic was for this community and everything, and kind of where we're at now too.
Right, and so obviously during that press conference today, we heard a lot of statistics, and one of the wonderful things that I heard come out from this meeting is that today Phoebe had their lowest number of patients since before the pandemic began. Can you tell me a little bit about some of the health leaders that were there today and some of the updates that they gave?
Yeah, so they said since the start of the pandemic, they've admitted around like 6,000 patients for COVID, but now there's currently only 3 COVID patients.
Wow.
And all of them are at Phoebe Main, and none of them are in the ICU. So they just kind of talked about how now we're in the endemic stage, to where it's sort of a matter of not letting it get to the point of being lethal again, I guess. But they say, you know, there is a possibility of a surge. That's always a possibility. But just to keep maintaining the same things we were doing, like washing our hands and, you know, just trying to stay healthy.
Right. And so another thing I know that they really emphasize, kind of like you said, even though the government declaration of emergency for COVID is going to be ending on May 11th, they're really still encouraging people to get vaccinated. Was that an overarching message today as well?
Yeah, they were talking about that, and there is going to be 2 vaccination clinics tomorrow. I know one is at St. Paul and the other one is at Bethel AME. I don't remember the time, so I think it's like 9 a.m. or something like that, 10 a.m. But for sure, they are still trying to get people, you know, vaccinated and everything, and even the booster shots and everything, that's coming out.
Right, and so of course, as always, those are free. If you are looking to get a vaccination, you can always call the Phoebe number 229-321-MyMD to schedule a vaccination. Gabby, I know you're going to be bringing us not just information from the meeting, but also a little bit of a look back at COVID and where we're going towards in newscasts today. Can you tell me a little bit about where people can find that content, which newscasts?
Yes, it'll be in the 5 and 6 o'clock shows today, and just kind of speaking with like the coroner, you know, the funeral directors, just lots of different leaders in the community on their experiences and just how impactful it was and still to this day.
Right, and so was there anything today that kind of stood out to you as far as either at the press conference or in your interviews with people you spoke with about the anniversary that we are experiencing on this Friday?
One of the things that kind of stuck out to me, I spoke with this lady who works at Phoebe, and she kind of talked about, I had asked her, do y'all still get people that come in with after effects of COVID?
Yeah.
And she was saying that, you know, people are still coming in with that, you know, whether it's just joint pain or heavy breathing, stuff like that. So there is long-term effects, but again, just circling back to getting vaccinations and stuff like that to avoid that.
Absolutely. Well, I know you also are going to be posting some stuff on your social media. Where can people follow you to find stories like this that you're going to cover in the future?
My Facebook is Gabrielle, WALB, and yeah, that's where you can find it.
And of course, you can always find content from our reporters on WALB.com. Again, make sure you guys tune in at 5 and 6 to see Gabby's pieces today. These are going to go beyond the meeting and really talk about, you know, the lasting impacts that we still are facing today from the COVID-19 pandemic, even 3 years later. One final question, Gabby, before I let you go. Can you tell me a little bit about what it means to you as a journalist to be able to cover something so important as the COVID-19 pandemic anniversary?
I would say personally for me, it was a little bit of a challenge just because I wasn't here yet, I guess, like deep in the heart of the pandemic. But just to hear about how Dougherty County was like really a hotspot, and just to see where they're at now is really amazing to me, just seeing the community coming together and sort of tackling that issue.
Absolutely. There's a saying that we always say here in Albany, and it's Albany strong, and that's something that really was tested during the coronavirus pandemic, but has really proven true even still today. So thank you so much, Gabby, for coming on and telling us a little bit about your story today. We will see you guys here for the 4 o'clock newscast in less than an hour. Of course, you can always keep up with us online, on our social media, and of course, WALB.com, the apps as well. Have a great rest of your Friday, and we will see you for our newscast here pretty shortly.